Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Dan.
This is Board Game Rundown. Dan's full of it. Today, we're going to review Vigilante. This is designed by Reed Mascola, and it is Paranoia Rising Games.
There you go.
So Vigilante plays, I believe, 3 to 5 players. I'm going to double check. 3 to 5 players.
He can
Probably
never
like an hour and a half.
remember that.
I can never remember. I was like, I know it
love it.
maxes at 5, and I don't think you can play with 2. So Vigilante is this really interesting twist because it's not really like a deck building game. It's like a hand building,
Hand management
game
Table building a bit.
Tableau building.
with a hidden
heroes.
traitor.
Yeah.
There's definitely some engine
Sometimes.
building to this. Yeah, sometimes there's a hidden traitor.
That's funny, 'cause especially when there isn't one. Everybody thinks the other person's guilty.
Oh, I know.
And it works out. Oh, we're all good guys. Yeah, we knew that. all along.
Yeah, because we played the fantasy draft scenario where you basically make sure you have one good
At
player,
least one good guy.
and then everybody else kind of randomly gets something, and then that's
Yep.
what you are. And yeah, we ended up with all good players with different win conditions.
Correct,
But
yep.
but all good players for the most part. So we're working towards the same goal. But in this game, right? You've got a player mat here, and you get a choice of a starting hero. You slot them here. They can have. There's a space on here, so you can tuck one card underneath it, so they can have an item or a vehicle equipped.
Equipment.
Yeah, the icons
them.
are all lined up on the side real nice, so they
Yeah, it works out really
Play
well.
out
And,
real
and then
good.
underneath, you can even see the text. To
Abilities
tell
and
you what the
stuff.
abilities do and everything right underneath. So it works out really well. And basically, the beginning of your turn, you've got 4 actions. You're gonna take 1 action a turn, and basically you can do any number of free actions first. Then you can do one of your main actions, which can be like draw a card, remove a damage from a hero, so you can heal them. You can attack a villain. You can recruit a hero or a mercenary. You can pick up inventory, pick up equipment. So if I have a thing on a guy and I don't want that person to have it anymore, I can pick it up back to my hand, right? You can trade a card, right? So I'm going to go, Bob, I'm going to give you this med pack. Like,
Ooh, okay.
yeah.
I like med packs.
Give me that thing that deals 2 damage to any hero.
Oh.
You
Net
could
zero gain.
Yeah.
You could also spend an action. Some of the cards will have like a little lightning bolt that looks like this on the card, and
Yeah.
you could spend the action to do that action instead of a different action. Recruiting is pretty straightforward. Your cards in your hand are going to have a value in the little comic book word bubble on the side. So there's like 5 and 4 and 2. They have different varying levels, and you're going to discard that many cards to meet or exceed the number of a hero in the lineup. And then now that hero then is added to one of your 4 slots. And where they are slotted is important.
Yeah.
Also, if all of your slots are full, you can't recruit a new hero. You have to have one of them die off before you can do stuff. Why it's important is because when you decide to attack a villain, you're going to get one of these cards, flip it over, and it's got this little grid on here, right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's numbered, and that's where the villain is going to hit. And the villain hits first, and then if you've got enough power, which is that top number in the circular icon there, to kill it, the villain goes to jail. They may have a jailed effect.
Right.
They may not. And that's essentially what you're trying to do for the game. Depending on the scenario you pick, there's a ton of them in here. It's going to say, you're going to play for 4 rounds or you're going to play for 5 rounds, or however long, it's going to tell you how long the rounds go. It's going to tell you how many potentially good guys and bad guys are going to be. It's going to kind of tell you how to build a villain deck and things like that. There's a ton of different
twist
options
on the
in here.
setups and stuff.
Yeah, a whole bunch of different things. You could pick the one you like, or we just randomly drew one and threw it down on the table.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, but you should make sure you read the whole setup on the card.
I wouldn't even
Recommend.
go that far. Just make sure Tim doesn't read this.
That's probably the best bet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The other thing is when you start the game, you're gonna get cards out of this identities deck, and
That
so
catch a roll,
they're gonna
win
basically
cons.
tell you your win condition, whether you're evil, good, or neutral, right? So you might need to have 7 villains jailed for you to be able to win the game. Or there's one I saw was like the time traveler. You need to have one more than the person who would win the game. You need to have one more villain jailed than them at least to win. So there's all these different little twists and things in there that you can do to win the game. The other thing that's interesting is at the end of the round, once everybody's taken all 4 of their actions, you roll your dice behind your screen, and you're going to choose one of them, and you're going to have these event tiles here, and they're basically going to everybody's going to choose one of their die. So like let's say I had a 4 and a 6, and I didn't want hacking to happen, which would make everybody discard a card. So I'm just going to put my 6 out, right? Like, oh, don't have anything that's nice. Dan you put a firefight, right? So that would deal damage to a hero. So then what we do is we start the events. It's only going to trigger once.
One time per die. I mean, one time no matter how many die are there.
Correct. That's
the
what I wanted to
opposite
say.
of what you said.
Yes. Take the first thing I said, erase it, and do the second thing I said.
So then we would just resolve it in numerical order, right? So 1 would happen, then there's no 2, no 3, no 4, no 5, and then 6 would happen. Boom, done.
Yep.
Good to go, right?
Right. The second die is rolled behind your shield, so you can see here my second roll was actually a 2, which means that nothing would have happened. But obviously, I must be evil or something because I purposely put the 1 out instead of the 2. But they wouldn't know that.
Right, and you can always bluff, right? There's a big thing in this game where you're bluffing. You can bluff to believe. You don't want to tell people what you are, or reveal what you are. You also have these allegiance tokens, and this is an aspect of this game that I really like. You've got 2 that match your actual alignment, so good, evil, or neutral, and then the other 2 are not that, right? So whichever one
that you get the most of.
Right, so I could peek at one and write, oh no, it's evil. So now Dan saw that and might think that I'm evil.
Right.
But like maybe he picks this one up next and it's like,
oh, he's good.
Oh,
maybe
I've learned nothing.
He's good. And then you pick that one up. Well, you really don't know anything.
I suck at this.
Turns out I was good.
Oh, he was good.
But yeah, so that's like a fun aspect of the game. The artwork, I really like the artwork and the colors. I like how vibrant they all are. I think the art is really consistent and solid across the board. That's my personal opinion. The dice are dice. Who cares? I like the player screens. They have a lot of really good information on the inside. It not only breaks down like the turn structure, but it also tells you in there when you're attacking a villain, if it's a level 1, its toughness is going to be between 2 and 4.
Yep.
Or level 2, 5, and 7. And I just think that that's fantastic information. It also tells you that the agency deck is made up of 14 equipment, 8 ambush cards, and then 50 one-time use
effects
cards. Another interesting thing, and I like that they do this on the back of the card. So there's a city deck and an agency deck. So if you draw a card, if you have no villains jailed, you have to draw from the city deck. The city deck also is going to have higher influence, which is the currency of the game to buy mercenaries or heroes, right? So drawing from here early, you might be like, oh, I'm not getting as good at cards, but actually you're going to get these high influence cards, which then you can discard to get heroes, which then the heroes are going to let you beat the villains. Once you've got 3 villains jailed, you can draw from either deck.
Right.
And so depending on what you're trying to get.
Right. Yeah, because the other deck is going to have higher ability cards and less influence on them.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of 2 and 1 influence cards in the agency deck, but it's got a lot of really amazing equipment that you might want to equip because there's going to be things like an engine builder, right? Where if you do something, draw a card, draw 2 cards, do this and that. I had an ability, it never got used, but I was always ready for it. Was that if something had freed one of my villains from jail,
jailbreak.
I could draw a card, and I had a card in my hand that I held on. I had it from the beginning of the game, and I held on it to the end, where it was prevent a jailbreak. And my guy procced whether the jailbreak succeeded.
Or not,
but if it happened, I got to draw a card. So I was like, no, it never happened. That's fine. But I was set up.
I was ready for it.
I was ready for it, and I would have triggered it. Well, I offered to not trigger it one time because I could have, but I was good.
You was good.
And everybody thought I was evil.
We thought he was evil. He was real quick to hit Dan.
Tim.
He's real quick to hit Dan.
Then I hit Spencer a bunch.
You did. Especially after I said Spencer was a good guy.
No.
Yeah, Spencer's a good guy. Oh, Spencer's a good guy?
No, before you said Spencer was a good guy.
1.
Because I put the token on your guy, and you're like, and
That's
I go,
true. Well, yeah, I'm going to allow you to not hit
Tim,
me.
history doesn't remember the truth; it remembers the majority.
That's true.
That's right.
And we say you punched him after.
Yep.
That's true.
But you're talking about the art. Dan, show that to the camera there. This is great. This is a great little Easter egg, right? Dante stop. So it's the quick stop from Clerks.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dante.
But Dante bought it, so now it's Dante's stop.
Right.
Nice.
That's great.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And if you care, we didn't really care that much. But there are the player colors like based on the screen.
Yeah.
If you care.
Yeah. That's one of those things I ignore in most games. I literally just talked about that in a different game. I can't even remember what it was right now.
Sure.
But it was something that we reviewed. But I was just, cryptid. Oh. It was like, technically, you should have the same color as the book you carry.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, we all just sat down and grabbed the colors.
They're all gray anyway, right?
Color we like.
yeah. Sorry.
But so you guys have any other comments or anything before we get into?
Well, I
reviewing?
guess I mentioned it. The 2 dye color it's hard for me to tell.
The
apart.
purple and the blue.
Yeah,
were
the purple
tough
and the
for you.
blue was a little
Gotcha.
tough. It doesn't matter too much, right? I mean, like, because I have my own, I can tell it apart.
And you could just
I
say
see
who played this
put
one.
that there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
So,
it's not super color dependent, right?
correct. Yeah, it's not very
So-
color dependent.
Yeah, it's almost not at all. I mean, even these, they say the level.
They say the
on
level
them,
on there.
so,
Yeah. Other than that, yep. So it's no big deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of text and
Mhm.
icons, but the colors are not super
Correct.
indicative because even the alignments, I believe, are different shapes.
Yep.
They are.
I was gonna
yes.
say, well, they say good on there or evil, right? And then,
Right, but
plus
then
they are
it's-
circle, square, and diamond.
Right.
A couple quick, before we go into the actual verdicts, a couple quick component things, a positive and a negative. I know he already mentioned it, but first of all, this player aid is amazing. It really tells you everything you need to know. It tells you what happens at the beginning of the round, and then it tells you all the free actions you can take, and they always happen before your main actions of the player turn. There's your main actions. It tells you the different health ranges of the different levels
Love
of
it.
enemies, which is huge. You can literally be like, okay, altogether I
As
have
long as you can
6
survive the hit.
Right, you're like, altogether I have 6 damage right now, so I literally can't even attack a level 3 villain. I need to build up, right? Like, that's huge. And then I didn't notice this, guys, while I was playing because I was asking about this. It says how many of each card are in the 2 decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would
Because
like-
I was asking.
Yeah, 'cause it's got
I
it
was
for the
about to
city
point it
deck.
out.
Yep.
So I was asking during the game, I said, which one do you guys think has more equipment in it? Because I was looking for that. But the negative I wanted to point out here is I'm not sure if this is a typo.
Oh, I just found a
Yeah,
typo
it is,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
the
It is a
same one
typo.
as this one. Just
It's
right
a
over
typo.
here.
On the city deck, it says there are no requirements in order to draw here. That is accurate. On the agenda deck side, it says there are
Agency,
no
but
requirements. Or
yes.
sorry, yeah, it says the same thing, but that is not accurate. There is
Right.
a requirement.
Yeah,
This
you
one
need
says
to have
higher
3.
than average influence, and this one says higher than average.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that's what I'm
they
saying.
just-
It's just the
it's the
same,
same thing.
sentence.
Same
So
It's an error.
I'm guessing that's a typo again. It might just
Yeah.
be a reiteration of info, but it's probably a typo. So that's a slight negative. But it also says on the
On the card itself.
agency deck what the prereq is. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty happy with the rest of the components. I mean, these cards aren't like the nicest quality cards, but
No,
they're
I will
fine.
sleeve
yeah,
these. They're fine.
I would sleeve them. That
I
is
would sleeve
accurate.
them so
for
they
you,
would
for those out there
live
that
longer.
care. I would definitely recommend sleeving them.
And I say that because spoiler alert, I like the game. I would try to get this game played.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, the more I feel like that, the more you play these, you will wear these down a little bit faster than maybe like a higher quality. But again, this is a small independent publisher, right?
Sure.
Going on
And it's
that-
not like you're shuffling your hand like a regular
Right.
deck builder
Also
where you're
true.
constantly
Not a ton of
shuffling.
shuffling.
There's
the
not a
only,
ton of shuffling.
the only shuffling is the beginning of the game, and then
Yeah.
if you go through these decks,
Right.
all the
So
way.
it's not that bad.
I guess another really quick thing before we go into the verdict is good on these guys for listening to the community and stuff because they let people try out the prototype, including us, and some suggestions were made, not just by us, but I'm sure other people were saying stuff. And there are legitimately some things changed in this final version that I think are more streamlined and just make the gameplay a bit better. I genuinely think they did a great thing taking some of the ideas that they had and maybe not just implementing them word for word, but like being like, oh, that's an interesting idea. We'll do it this way, and doing that kind of thing. And it genuinely streamlined the game a bit and added some much needed to me what's that
Like
that
a
term?
fluidity or
Well, like that ease of play, like it's just there to make it easier, you know. And so yeah, very much appreciated, guys. Not everyone does that.
Right. All right, Dan, we're gonna rate this game.
We are.
Yeah, we are, because this is the actual production copy and not the Kickstarter preview that we had before.
Correct.
Which I believe we all kind of recommended. We had some comments, but I think we all recommended it. I think So Dan, how do we rate this?
So we're each going to individually rate it from 1 to 10, including 0.5s, so that you can get each of our personal opinions and see what we each think about the game. But then we're going to average them together, so there's only one score at the end of this episode, and that's the score we'll be sharing on BGG, Discord, and the like.
Nice,
All right.
Bobby.
Yeah,
Why don't you go first?
that's
buddy?
me.
That's me.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I think we kept referring to it as like a deck builder, but
Yeah, it's
playing
not
it
a
again,
deck builder.
It's not a deck builder. 'Cause
Not a
you're
deck
really
builder.
not
But I
shuffling
was guilty of
things.
the same thing.
Yeah. But I think the tableau builder, hand management. I had a card that was let me draw multiple cards with one action.
We were all
They were
jealous.
so jealous. and that was super helpful.
I got one like
Um,
that. It was like the very end of the game. Like, well, that's not so helpful.
Mhm. But no, I do enjoy this. I'd like to play it some more. I'm just gonna come down to a 7.5. For
Okay.
Me. Yeah, I dig it. I would recommend it. I wouldn't mind having a copy of it.
Trying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting some miles on it. Right?
Oh, I do want to mention my biggest problem with it though is the insert.
Oh, the inserts.
Yeah, we should bring that
That's
up.
right. I forgot about that, Bob.
Excuse me. They have the wells in there, and the wells are spaced nicely. However, they don't come all the way up, so the cards want to fall over. And by the time we move that box anywhere, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like if I had this for I was you, I'd probably just get like a box, something else.
Well, I
to
think
put
what I'm
the
going to
cards
do is
into.
take the insert out and
Yeah.
bag the cards or something.
Yeah, bag them.
until-
Yeah, exactly. Something
Bag
like
'em and tag
something
'em.
something to that effect.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
other than that though,
It is weird that they are almost exactly too short to
Yeah.
be useful.
And also a little too narrow, right? Like I felt like they were a little
well, once
narrow.
they're sleeved, I'm not sure there'll be room anyway.
Oh,
Correct.
But the way it was when I was putting them there was enough room width-wise for all the decks to be separated and room for everything.
Okay.
But it was just that they all wanted to fall over.
Yeah,
and as soon as
yeah.
you pick it up, they all fall out
Yeah.
of there.
Yeah, and I
So
store
the-
my
the
games
walls
like
needed to be
this
taller.
anyways. So
yeah, the walls needed to be taller.
Sure.
But yeah, so still a 7.5 though. So yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you guys have said. Not certain I can add much more.
Good. Get it over with.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. There's definitely some cool synergies you can get going on in here. And sometimes you have to make it work. I had one who every hero that I had that was defeated, she got all of their texts as power.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, that's amazing. If only I had a hero that was defeated.
Right. Well, you could start playing the cards and just keep attacking your own heroes.
This is true.
Yeah.
You can attack your own heroes. If you
Yeah,
wanna kill
and
them
I was
off.
doing that because I was trying to get rid of my starting heroes so I could
Right.
get better ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I am going to come down on an 8 for this. I like it. I would definitely play it
Nice.
again. I'm not going to buy it, but yeah, bring it. I'll play it.
Yeah, for sure. Dan.
Yep. Similar. I have talked kind of extensively about my thoughts, and again, you could always check out our prototype thing where we had a bunch of thoughts as well. So we've talked about the game quite a bit now. And I am actually I was jumping between a 7.5 and an 8. I found this very fun. It's a very cool mixture of mechanics. This hidden traitor
roll.
system with the
Yes.
4 where you're checking someone and trying to figure it out. That's a cool hidden not even hidden traitor, but like hidden identity system.
Yeah, hidden
I've seen it
identity.
before, but not super often, and I like this system. And then there's this hand management system and this tableau building you guys are talking about, where like the synergies you're saying are very fun to try to piece together, and getting equipment on different people that proc different things, and having equipment that proc with the event phase. So then the event phase isn't as bad for you anymore. You're like, oh, I have to damage a hero, but I also get to heal a hero, so it's not that bad, right? Building that up. The scenario we played today made this a little rough just because we started so strong that we barely had to worry about drafting more heroes.
Right.
But that's
Right.
just a specific scenario thing.
But also then the villains were wailing on a lot of our
That's
guys.
true, but
so,
like we wanted it, right?
Yeah,
we were like
yeah,
taking them out.
yeah.
And there was a lot of scenarios.
This whole villain system with their attacking of the
tiers.
quadrants.
Oh
I-
yeah,
I-
that
That's
quadrant attacking
such
is
a
cool.
I think that's
cool
amazing.
system.
Yeah.
And
I
again,
really
that
think
means
that's
that
amazing.
you can kind of like purposely try to be like,
Leave
oh, I
certain
want
spots
my,
empty and
yeah,
hope
I
that
want
that
my
one goes
defender
here.
over
Yeah.
here and stuff like that. And there's this whole set thing that will come into play on some cards, and the jailing effects are almost all really interesting and fun to get those jailing effects. There's a good mix. This event system is really cool. I haven't seen much like
Yeah.
that. It reminds me of the Dark Moon, where you have the different tiers of the bad things that break and stuff, but it's not at all the same system. It just reminds me of it, but like that's a cool little event system. And
Right.
there's this, again, this hidden traitor kind of thing where you can, oh, sorry guys,
Right.
I had 2 4s.
Right,
so
plus,
I had
like,
to put this out.
when you're the start player, you pull 2 of those out of the bag and you choose
Oh,
one
that's
to
true,
add to it. So it's
yep.
another way you can kind of hidden trader it.
Yeah, so you
know.
can like you want.
Oh, sorry,
all
I
those
have to
numbers.
put the wound one out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I drew 2 of those.
yeah. I hate when that
And
happens.
so like none of this is like groundbreaking, but
Right.
it's all mixed together in a
In a unique
really
way.
interesting pot
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
and I like this mixture. And again, I'm going between those two. I do think for now I'm gonna go with 7.5. But just because I don't think I've played the game enough to really
Yeah,
get the
plus the
whole
insert.
game out of it.
Yeah, I definitely want to play again.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing again. For now, I'm falling on a 7.5, and we'll see with all the different scenarios and what else this game has to offer. And expansion potential is crazy.
Oh,
yeah,
so,
for sure.
there's so much stuff you could do with it.
So I'm falling on 7.5.
Yeah, I think I probably feel almost exactly the same way now that I did the first time we played it. And I was like, wow, like a lot of really neat, unique things. I mean, this is a very solid 8 for me, like very solid. I could see some experiences even taking this up to an 8.5. But I mean, it's one of those games where like it's limiting, but I enjoy because it forces you to be creative and not like, oh, I can't do anything I want to do. But you do have to be smart with your actions because you only get 4.
So many,
you know, and it's like it's real easy. Like I started with the game, my hero let me draw extra cards. And so I started with a ton of cards, but then it's like,
You're
They're gone.
yeah, exactly, though, exactly, you know, and it's like, oh, before I know it, they're all gone, and I'm played, and it's like I bought a big hero like right off the bat, you know, and I used up a bunch of them, and I was like, cool, and then it's like, oh no, I've only got 2 cards left, and it's like, you know, it's a whole action to just draw a card.
Right, and that's the thing with this game that changed for me was the first time I played it, I wasn't sure I loved how that system works because for the people not in the know, you're spending all these cards on your turn doing these things, but then as an action is draw 1 card. So you can really quickly lose your hand, and then your next 3 turns are just drawing 3 cards, like 1 card each, you know?
Build it back up.
And you really feel the gears grinding if you kind of just like shotgun your hand out, you know?
Right.
And the first time I was like, oh man, I kind of wish I could draw more cards. But then as I played more, you're just like, no, you just got to play smarter, you know? And you got to know what you're doing, or build a team that helps you draw more cards and stuff. You know, like
and it makes the discard 1 card effect much more
Oh, it's
devastating.
brutal. Yeah, it's
one
brutal.
card,
It's really,
like, no.
it's really difficult.
Yeah.
But again,
that's a whole action.
Yeah, it's all action, yeah.
yeah, but I appreciate that, right?
Yeah,
you know, I those are things that I thought they did really well. Again, I really love the artwork. I love like Bob. I love the
super cool.
vibrancy of the colors and everything.
Right. I forgot.
Well,
what
just the whole like light contrast.
Yeah.
right? It's like
yeah,
the
I
super
told
dark
Jeff about it.
shadows.
Whatever this art style is, where it's so dependent on the lighting. You know, like I really like that look.
Yeah. But I just there's a ton of replayability here. This does a lot of things. I think there's a lot of value in this because of the replayability and all the different scenarios and all the different heroes you can see. I mean, we could play this game 5 times and not see all the heroes.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so if you take all of our scores, you average them together, 7.8. It's pretty
not
good.
bad.
Pretty
good.
Not bad, especially for an early outing, right? From a small company, which
Batman
makes
would
this
be
even
proud.
more impressive. So
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, guys,
Pretty good.
this is Vigilante. I would get online. I don't know exactly where you can go to get it yet. I know the Kickstarters are filling now. But yeah, I mean, you can find them on Facebook. I would look them up if this sounds interesting. Actually, you could just join our Discord channel and hit me up, and I can get you all the information. Yeah, I can reach out to the designer. Hey, we can get some links for you and everything. But anyways, guys, we all clearly very strongly recommend this game. Had a really good time with it, and I think you would too if any of these things sound interesting. So for the board game rundown, I'm a good guy, and I've been Tim.
I was Bob, and I was a good guy.
Were you?
I'm Spencer. I was a good guy.
I was Dan, and I mean, the game said I was a good guy, but I was still trying to hurt people.
Fair enough. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.